So, all right. So here we are on our first meeting and recording podcast to follow Edra and her travels and journey to get the school started again. So Edra, I'm so excited for this project and to follow you along. Can you sort of give me a little bit of background of who you are and what we're doing?
Uh, okay. Um, Edra is a mother. Is a mother of four. I have lived in the slums of Mathare for 21 years and worked there also. And basically, I was born in a typical uh, countryside and learned there from primary to high school. Then I came to Nairobi back in 1991 after completing my high school.
You did it early too, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're both grandmas of a beautiful baby who is from Edra's son and my daughter. So we have two worlds combined. So we're called as grandmas, we're shoshos. How is that spelled, Edra? SHO?
Wow. It's SHO. Yes, sure, sure. Yeah.
Shosho, that's
Yeah.
what we are. So we have our
Yeah.
two worlds. I'm from Canada and Kenya, Edra's from Kenya, like she said. Okay, so tell me a bit about your school and the one that you had and how it started and the purpose behind it.
One of the things I want to say about myself is that when I grew up, I had a lot of challenges in my education. I was this village girl who is very bright. Even if I am out of school for a whole term, I'll go to in the second term and just be number one. So as I grew up, we were 10. We were 10 in my family. And my dad used to be sick. So my mom is the only person who used to like work in people's gardens, people's homes, at least to make sure that the 10 are fed. So when I did my primary level, I passed so well. So I was called in a provincial school. Uh, that was the second from national. And I did not have school fees. So I had to stay from January. I did not have school fees to report. February, I did not have school fees. Then March, which was the end month of the first term, my dad sold a piece of land for me to go now at least have part of the school fees for that year. So I had to report in for a few weeks. Then when I reported after the first year, I got a scholarship. But unfortunately, in Form 3 or that year in my high school, the person who was paying for my school fees was a Catholic nun. So she got sick and she went back to Ireland. So I had a problem again. So in my Form 4, I did not learn. I was in and out of school.
Right,
So for almost the whole year, I did not even have money to pay for the exam, the high school final exam.
right.
So the principal then paid for my examination, and there were no funds. So there is no way she could have gotten me. So when the exam was just about, I went back to school just to check whether they'll they'll accept me, and they accepted me, and I did my exam. So I got a division 3, which was like average, though I had not learned for the whole year. I knew this is not my grade, but at least it was something. I had the certificate. It was difficult for me to get the certificate because I had a school balance. So I stayed for so many years without my certificate
Wow.
until our third president pardoned, like gave a pardon.
Okay.
So after giving a pardon, I got my school, my certificate, and now I started thinking of how I can get to college. Uh, I love education, and I would wish each and every child gets at least education, especially basic education, which is primary, ECD, primary level, and high school, and even university, because we have so many children who pass, they get good grades, but it's very difficult to join colleges.
Right.
So that was what I had in mind, even as I came to Nairobi after high school. So when I came to Nairobi after high school, I found these children. It was a culture shock. Nairobi being the city, and me being the village girl who had not come to Nairobi, to the city even one day. So I came to the city, and one of the things which met me were the street children. The ants glue, they were sniffing, and I wanted to get all of them and clean them, then teach them something. And it was difficult. But by and by, God opened a way. So this is how I started my school. Back in 92, I got married immediately after high school. And I had not decided to get married. I got, but this is the way you are told, come, you go and see my place. You may get a problem. There were no phones. You might get a problem and you get stuck here, and the house is just across. Then I just went, and when I went, I was left there, and I was told this place is very dangerous. So that's how I could not come out, right, because now people need to be married, and that is how I got married. Immediately, I started talking to the street children and teaching them the basics like numbers and sounds. Then slowly, I happened to start a rehabilitation center. It was so informal. I had a few children, but I got somebody who sponsored it and registered it. So it became quite a big rehabilitation center, which is called Rescue Data Center. Then after that, when she took, the donor now took over, because she felt threatened that Edra has all the trust for these children. They were 16 children by 1993. So she said, oh, Edra might convince these girls to go away, or might take over the institution. So for me, it was about the child and the impact. Yeah. Making them, after 4 months, stop sniffing the glue, and now having them go back to school, because I really valued education, and I needed each and every person to have education, each and every child. So she came. She was a German lady. She told me, Edra, I'll take them to school if they are not sniffing glue. And she gave me food for the children. She hired a room for them. And my work was to go to the street and pick the girls. So I would go to the street. We eat together. In the evening, I go home with one girl. Then by and by, they were 16. And for her, she saw our children's home, a center, a business for herself. But for me, I was for impact, changing the lives of those children and giving them quality education. And she offered that. So for me, I had achieved. But for her, she had achieved also. Yeah. So it was 50-50. I didn't feel as if I've lost. Then after that, she started an ECD center where I became a class teacher. So she put me there, and she brought somebody to teach me Montessori. And I studied Montessori through a very good teacher. She was called Teacher Jane, and she taught me very well. Then I took over the nursery class, at least for a whole year. Then after that, I decided to quit. That was 97 when I got my second born. So I decided just to quit. With my firstborn, he was brought up in class. He was taken to class in the first week. 94, he got born again, and then he got born. Then after 4 days, the German lady just came and took my child outside, and I was screaming, and the son, and she was like, "Oh, I'm taking him to class." Then now, when I got my second born, Mary, I decided to quit. Reasons: the salary I was getting was 1,000. She started by paying me 800 shillings. That was in 1993. Then uh, came to 1997, she was giving me 1,400.
Per day?
And now, yeah, my husband was not working.
Yeah.
And now I had to cater for the family. And I decided, just let me go to business. At least maybe I'll make something. And I'll also look after my children instead of employing somebody. Because now 1,400 and I'm employing somebody to look after my child, to look for Mary, to look for Mary. And I was going to school with Charles. Then it was like, oh, it was difficult. So I left Charles in school. Then I started a business, a green grocery. It did not pick. So I started preparing buns. We call them mandazis. And one thing I know in the business world, you have to be unique. So instead of making triangle ones, I went to make circle ones.
Yeah.
Then I put enough sugar. So mine, people went to queue for mine before others. And people were saying I'm using charms. It was not charms, it was just being unique. So after that, I continued. I went back to school. I got somebody who paid for my college. I wanted to do um, jewelry. And I felt like if I have a bit of knowledge about jewelry, then I would be making the necklaces. Then I maybe be selling them. I can maybe put I patent them, or I get an order somewhere. Then I started making them through my knowledge. Then I got this American lady called Sandra Van Dyke who said, I can pay for you a course somewhere to do jewelry. And I went, I started, I was pregnant of my third born now. That was 1998. And I went, I started learning, but she knew I wanted to learn fine art. So the third month, as I was doing jewelry, she wrote to me and said, Edra, I've gotten somebody who can teach you fine art. So forget about the jewelry. Now I had just gotten one small certificate. Then she told me, I'll pay for you to do the fine art. I love learning. I love being in class. So I was so excited. And in 2001, I just got in 2000, the end of 2000, I got in a class, an informal class. Now we first started with informal classes, and now imagine I was pregnant of my third born. I gave birth to my third born. Then after 2 years, I go and give birth to my fourth born. And I was in school for the 4 years. So for those years, since 98, 99, 2000, 2001, up to 2002.
Wow.
So I got my certificate in 2003. That was for contemporary African art. So basketry, weaving, patchwork. So I did a lot of art and craft. So that time I sold a lot. I sold so much of the items I was making. I remember the patchwork, I sold them in US. And for the basketry also, I sold them in a certain college called Bloomfield College. And like professors, lecturers, they were ordering, and I was putting their names on the basketry. And somehow there's a time I tried in France, and I found the market was flooded with baskets. So I was back to square one. I got to HIV and AIDS field, and we had an organization where I was told, and I started, I became the secretary of that organization. Having the passion of community people, I stood for them. Personally, I like standing for the voiceless, speaking for the voiceless and standing for their rights. So people were messing up with the people who were living with HIV and AIDS. And I was like, no, you won't mess up with them. So I stood for them and I was the secretary. Everybody did not want me because I was preventing them from eating the money. So they would come and say, bring that money we share. And I say, no money is going to be used. The money is for our clients. Yeah, and the clients, they love me so much. In 2000, I had already done my certificate now in contemporary African art. So in 2007, I got a scholarship. And I studied voluntary counseling and testing with an organization called Liverpool, definitely funded by USAID. So I got my certificate through the body. It is called NASCOP. So I went for my attachment in a government hospital and I was qualified. I was given my certificate. So we continued in 2008. I also got another scholarship. And this time I was to do my counseling supervision. So I did the first part, but when I was just about to take the last copies, my office burned and everything burned there. So my certificate was ready. They always told me just repeat the work. It's quite a lot of work. You have to get counselors. So I've been thinking of trying to go back for it, but I have all what it takes to do counselor supervision. So I do supervision free. If I find people with burnouts, I am always there for them. And I've gotten another scholarship. So I went to Thailand in 2009. I was in a workshop, which was a short course of globalization and social transformation. This is issues to do with HIV and AIDS, issues to do with environmental justice, that is climate change included, fair trade, yeah, all these. In 2014, I got another scholarship and I went to China. So I did rainwater harvesting and utilization in developing countries. So I love gaining knowledge. And if I get an opportunity, I'll continue. Because like right now, there's a course I really want to do of mediation. Because I do a lot of mediation in the community, in the government institutions. I do a lot of mediation. But you find I don't have a certificate. I do it on a referral basis.
Yeah.
And I'm perfect in it. But at times you need a certificate to prove that you are licensed. Okay, I need a license for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that maybe I can earn from it.
Yeah.
That's enough for now.
The background is amazing. And I think the point too of your education has helped you in a sense to level up a little bit from, you know, the girl that was in the village to the woman who moved to Mathari, and your recognition of education and the fact that the children around Mathari don't have education. I don't think people realize that these children are likely not to go to school, learn the basics, and so how could they get out and thrive as adults? And so your work that you do and moving forward is incredible, and giving them children an opportunity. I call it level up, to be able to get up
Yeah.
on their education.
Just on that, on that note,
Yeah.
yeah, I know I've not mentioned how I started the school.
Yeah. Tell us.
So in 2006, there was some fire which burned somewhere, just in our neighborhood. And a child was burned in it.
Mm.
And one of the children died. So I asked myself, what intervention can I do at least to make sure that such a thing will not happen again? You see, I think the villain made me to be so passionate, have a lot of compassion on, because people were not caring, it was a barrier and that's all.
Yeah.
People were not caring. Everybody was doing their work, as if everything is normal. But I really felt that I need to do something. So what I did, there were so many kids who were left unattended to. The parents leave very early in the morning. They go to find some odd jobs. Some go to City Park Market, others go to Eastleigh Estate to wash clothes, and others were just around, others drinking, and the children would be left at an early age of 1 year. You would find a child just seated at the roadside. They just put the child there and they go.
Mm.
And I felt that if I had a safe house, just a good room with a door and a window, and just a permanent block house, not the temporary structures, then I have somebody, a mature person, just to be with those kids, that they will be safe there. Then in the evening, their parents can come and pick them. So I just decided, let me rent a room. And I rented a room at 2,500. I said I can afford to rent a room. So let me rent a room. Then I got this this girl who was called Seraphine. She was a P1 teacher, but she is somewhere and she was told there's no job. So the job ended and she came to me and asked me if she can be in the safe house. Then I said, yes, just continue. So I did not have money to pay her. So I had to speak to the parents to be giving 10 shillings every day, at least to make sure that in the evening, if we have 10 kids, she has 100 shillings in the evening. And I went collecting the children and also speaking to the parents to tell them, when you come in the evening, you will find your child in a safe place. And this is in this and this room. And this is the person who will be taking care of your children. So in a month's time, in 2 months' time, I got the teacher who was teaching my firstborn and my secondborn in ECD, in nursery school. So she comes to me and says, oh, Mama Mary, that is mother to Mary, will you allow me to come and teach the children you have and come with mine? Because where I was working, the job ended. I was told I was laid off, but the parents have brought their children in my house. I don't have a blackboard. I don't have chairs. I have nothing. And you see, I had already prepared some chairs and some tables. So I said, it's okay. So long as you're not asking me for anything, it's fine. And this is somebody I knew her potential. She earned a diploma in ECD. She had gone to National Youth Service. So she earned a lot of skills. So I told her, okay, better. Now I had a responsibility of getting a job for the other one, so that at least as much as I bring teacher Rose in, teacher Seraphine has somewhere. And I managed to get a school where now she went to be a primary teacher. And teacher Rose we started with teacher Rose now in 2006. In 2007, there was post-election in Nairobi and in Kenya, and it was bad. People were displaced. So I have a background of counseling. In fact, I'm a born counselor because I started counseling a long time ago. And even when I did the VCT counseling, whenever you do any type of counseling, at least the background of any general counseling, at least you have. So I went to the IDP camps to counsel people because there was a lot of trauma. There was people where it was a pathetic situation. So in 2007, I got somebody in the IDP camps as I was counseling people. And this was a friend, and also she was a niece to one of the former presidents.
Oh.
So she was a grandchild of our first president. Yeah, so she wanted to come back and do something because she was away for 27 years, and now she saw the whole country is burning, and she wanted to come back and do something.
Wow.
When she came, so that is how I met her. When I met her, we walked a bit. She was told what I do in the community. She was told I have a ECD center. Then we talked a bit. Then she said, I want to start something in Kenya. So she took 5 of us and we were to start something. But now she had to visit each and every project with each and every person. And it happened that I was the only person who had a genuine project. The
Oh,
rest, they hear briefing. In fact, I remember one of the people took us to a school, and he had just called other schools. They came, they performed very well, and he said, "This is my project." But now, when we went to the next school, he said it is his. He was introduced by the head teacher
oh,
as okay. The teachers were, he was introduced to the teachers by the head teacher. Then we were like, oh, he is playing with our mind.
yeah.
And finally, now this lady decided to work with me. And now that is how, in 2008, I registered now my ECD center. Officially, it became legal. And now I had challenges. And the first challenge was feeding program. I
Was
was doing counseling to these children who have diverse issues. Each and every child in Madare has a different problem which needs different attention. And this is what many people don't understand. Because if you meet a group of children, you want to talk to them as a group. But that doesn't work at all.
mm,
The years I had stayed with people in Madare, I realized that you'll find a child who has been brought up in a dysfunctional home. The parents are fighting day and night. You'll find another one, the parents are alcoholic. You'll find another child who has been brought up by gangsters. And you see, each and every child has a problem, a very unique problem. So I used to tackle each and every case individually. And that made my school very unique.
mm-hmm.
So I do that myself. Then we end the education. So I did not have feeding, and children would come to school without food, without breakfast, and they've been brought in class to come and learn.
Mm,
So you find the minute they are pushed inside the classroom, they start dozing because they were woken up early. The parents maybe were fighting at night,
yeah.
or they were drunk. They did not even cook at night. So
Mm,
that was the biggest challenge I had because I was in a position at least to pay the room,
yeah.
and the parents were paying something small to the teacher. But now I was giving the food from my home to the children, then taking also those who come with food. I share a bit to those who don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my greatest challenge. So when I talked to this lady about my challenge, she said, Edra, I think I'm the person who is supposed to come and help you. And I said, you can't come. You are working in UK. How? She was a corporate lawyer in UK. And she said, no, I'm coming. And the dad wanted to see me because the dad told me, I thought this is a huge woman who is manipulating my daughter. Yeah, and but well, in fact, when the dad came and saw me, he did not think this is Edra. He was still waiting for the Edra to come. And finally, he was called to come and meet Edra, and he came and just found this abo girl. I'm tiny. My body is tiny, so I look like a small girl,
Yeah.
but I'm a big. So he came and found just this tiny girl. He said, "You are Edra?" I said, "Yes." Oh, I was expecting a huge woman. Yeah, so that's how now the Soya started now helping my center, and she catered for everything. She went ahead and registered a charity organization in UK. It was called We the Change Foundation.
Okay. We the
We the Change Foundation. Yeah, and We the Change Foundation, the Madare Early Childhood Development Center was now the first organization under We the Change Foundation.
mm,
So she was raising with that charity organization and now giving the support to our organization, to the local now organization, the ECD. And now she tried to fundraise. Then after, I think, 3 months, she told me we doubled the number because now we had done the pilot project. We knew what we need for 30 children because now I had increased the children to 30. Now she told me, make them 60
ah,
because now, yeah, with the amounts we have, we can do this free. We can do this easily.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we moved the number to 60. And we had gotten, we got another teacher. We had gotten another teacher when we multiplied, we added to 30. And now, because our classrooms, we were only having 15. We were using international standards
Uh-huh.
because she told me, let us give quality. Quality. So we were to give quality. We were having 15 children per classroom because now this is, you remember, this is not business. This is giving the best
Yeah.
to a child who was totally nothing, who is totally like not entitled to anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she gave me the diet, the diet of the children, and we followed that.
Hmm.
Our children used to take porridge in the morning, they take lunch, and they take a packet of milk in the evening
Nice.
when we were going home. And because I was doing home visits, I knew which parents don't probably have food in the evening, which children will not have supper. So at times in the evening, we will give the children food at 4 or 4:30 before they go home, so that when they go home, even if they find there's nothing, they'll be okay.
They ate. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So she did a lot of work because fundraising for around 12 and a half years.
Wow.
We worked over 12 and a half years. COVID came and we had a lot of challenges. People now were not, there was no money.
Yeah.
In fact, even as we speak, she is still paying for the debt. We have around 5 million she has to pay.
Wow.
Slowly to the people, to the teachers, because now the teachers went, they had worked for like a year without payment because we would pay them whatever we get.
Mm-hmm.
And now, remember the children, you have to give, we had 82 children by the time we closed. We had
Eight.
82.
Eight.
And with the
Wow.
82 years. And you see, these are young children, 2.5 years to 7 years. Children, they are protocoled. They know when I get in school, I have to take porridge after 2 hours. I have to get balanced diet lunch. You see, so we accumulated a huge debt up to a point that we could not accumulate anymore.
Right.
So we have a huge debt of around, it was around 6.3 million. And slowly by slowly, she has tried to clear around it's now remaining around 5.1 million Kenya shillings.
Wow.
Yeah, she's so determined, slow. She always tells me, Edra, it's slow but sure. But now you see, we closed that chapter. Uh, then I have stayed, parents are speaking to me. Now we've gone back to that situation whereby there are these children, they want to go to school, the parents have no money.
Yeah.
There are schools which give scholarships, yes. But my age was tiny.
Mm.
So with 2 years, there's nowhere you can get a scholarship for that child. And remember, brain development age
Yeah.
is 0 to 6 years. So most of the time you find when children are going for primary education, their brain is fully developed. So whatever happens now, you just add to what has been put inside. So those 6 years are very crucial. And I really wanted to put an impact or at least put something reasonable to those kids at that age.
I'm Hi everyone. So just to finish off between Edra and I, it looks as if we had a little bit of a problem with how I had set up our Zoom. So we ended a little bit early. But I think my final thoughts on this would be I can't wait till we hear more of where Edra's going, opening this school. My second sort of thing I think people should be aware of is that change in money. So for shillings can maybe buy an apple or something. But yeah, it's very interesting how much Edra's been able to do as a little village girl. I think is really important. These scholarships, which are usually with organizations, charitable organizations. But you can see the challenges she's been through and the children there after my recent visit there. The children are such beautiful children, and you see such or not opportunity, but such potential in these kids that you know what it's just their circumstances they were born into, and sometimes it's just luck. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Can you like and subscribe and follow my journey, following Petra's journey? And we'll talk a bit about our kids and stuff too. Thanks, guys.